Hello everyone and welcome back to Age Nagash, which of course is a channel mainly dedicated to Age of Sigmar. And in this video, we are going to be just doing a bit of a review of the reveals we've seen from the Nova Open. So it's been a long time since I've done basically a review on a reveals one community article. But I thought I'd give it a go because I did a night shift last night, and where I haven't been able to read this article yet, I saw lots and lots and lots of nice pictures of new Slaves of Darkness models that I definitely want to talk about and give you my 2 cents piece on what I think about them. Also, if you're watching this, if you're watching this on demand or you happen to be watching it live, which I haven't announced I was doing a live stream, but if you are, let me know your thoughts in the chat of this video or in the comments of this video as well, because there's been plenty of reveals. Of course, when we go over this, we are going to be focusing on the Nova Open stuff about the Age of Sigmar, but we will look at the other things, of course, as I am also starting another one of the games, being Horus Heresy. So you may see some of that on the channel at a future date. And the other reason I want to do one of these videos is because I have actually got one of these tank cards from Warhammer World I got as a lovely, lovely present for my birthday when I went up there. So I just want to kind of have that on stream as well. First I'm drinking out of it, and I can recommend it's very good. Not sponsored by GW. But anyway, on to the Nova Open. So the first thing it says is the Nova Open, catch all the major Warhammer reveals. Welcome to our coverage. Okay, blah, blah, just their Twitch stream stuff. Seen the video but still want more, check out the links below. So that's what we're going to be doing. So a summary of what we've got, basically. So we've got what looks as the Dwarves of Warhammer 40k. Can't for some reason remember the name of them, but we've got those. We've got the new Warhammer Wonderworlds set, which is Gorechosen, so that'll be Khorne. We've got a new model, at least one new model coming for the Ogre Mawtribes, which looks like a hunter. And then we've got a new Mega-Gargant coming out. And then we've got the Slave Starter stuff, which is the main thing I'll cover, like I say. And then we've got a new Horus coming out as well, which is definitely very cool. As someone who, like I said, when I went to World, I bought a Horus Heresy model, and I'll do that in a future video and stuff. But let's just say I jumped very much into the deep end of that one. And then we got some Khorne Berserkers, and I absolutely do adore Khorne. So it's very nice to see that, despite being a full-on Slaanesh player. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be the leagues of Votann. So this is the dwarves for Warhammer 40k. Really annoyed I can't remember the name of them. What we'll do is we'll play all the trailers. It shouldn't really affect the video too much. Maybe stop being monetized, but I do want to see what these cool trailers look like. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so come September, and I believe they're called squats for some reason. We don't want to call them stonks, but no, squats I think is what they're called. From what I see there, I think they're all right. They're not particularly my cup of tea, but I haven't really got a problem with them. I think they fit into 40k in the same way how Cowden Overlords fit into Age of Sigma. That, you know, Cowden Overlords, for example, look quite high tech in Age of Sigma, but it's more than plausible in the lore. And I think it's the same with the leagues of Votann as well. Oh, like, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to read all this in the article. If you want to read it, you can check it out yourselves. So I'll be focusing on the Age of Sigma stuff, like I mentioned. But what I will say is, like, I will be interested to see how they all do fit in the lore, because, you know, it is funny when you see like these brand new armies pop up in 40k and Age of Sigma, which, you know, is really good, but it's like they've been hiding away this whole time and then suddenly they're here and they're going to make an impact. But no, so yeah, that's cool. If you do like to have dwarves and you are very much into 40k, perfect for you. Right, okay, so the next one we are going to have a look at is going to be the Warhammer Underworlds. So we'll look at the Gorechosen of Dromm by the looks of things. Right, okay. Is it? Yeah, it's came through. So I was just checking, making sure that the systems came up all right. Haven't done like a screen share on a live video for a long time, but no, that's fine. Okay, so Nova Open reveals the Gorechosen of Dromm are coming to claim glory and skulls. So the Nether Maze is full of skulls from supervised ogre, cranium of Gorlock black powder to the, I presume that was one of the warbands that I missed when I wasn't really covering videos and stuff, to room temperature noggins of, God, I'm doing terrible with my pronouncing today. So it's bound to attract attention of passing Khornate warbands. The Slaughter Priest Dromm has taken notice, and now he's coming to drown the underworld in blood. So let's check him out in the video. Okay, so there we go. What I'd say, firstly, my first impressions on these guys is obviously they're Khorne. You know, you can see the Khornate symbol and everything else, and did mention that, but they do look a bit different to your normal Khorne, and I think that's mainly because they don't really have like the bunny ear sort of helmets, which I do like. I will say, but I think that's where they do stand out a little bit. Like, you could, I suppose, you've got a fair few symbols you'd have to cut off and maybe remove when you're building them, but you could easily turn this into some sort of tribal warriors, I think, for any of the other sort of dark gods, or just particularly slaves of darkness. To be fair, or, you know, obviously chaos cultists and stuff in Warhammer 40k. So it says Dromm is a priest who is very keen to see the blood flow, and he has unique actions engaged. To be honest, I haven't really played Warcry for a while, so I'm not really going to go into the depths of the rules here because I don't want to get it wrong, essentially. But I'm sure you guys are really into Warcry, which I am, but I haven't played it for a while. You guys can check that as well. But for the model's sake is what I really can be talking about. I do like them. I don't like them enough, I'd say I'd buy them, because I quite like the traditional sort of Khornate look, I think, and these are a bit too generic for me. For example, I like them more armored and everything else. Like, if this like brute, shall we call him, if he was massively armored as well, in lovely complete red Khornate armor, I'd absolutely adore that. But yes, so those are the Warhammer Underworlds warband, and then we're going to go on to the ogres. I do just want to see in the chat, we've got Bill Zander, I hope I pronounced that right, says the new Slates of Darkness look great, but they suffer with what most new kits do. The leader doesn't feel like a leader. And then he goes on to say, can hardly make him out from the others. So we'll look at that in a moment, because to be honest, I haven't really looked at them properly, but I'll see if I do see where you're coming from, essentially, when we have a look at them. But anyway, so we've got the Blood Pale Hunter arrives to stalk the deadliest game. So as summer ends and the seasons shift, the dread chill of the Everwinter gets closer, and the ogres rouse from their lairs. Most of them are after nothing more than fresh meat, but some are on the hunt for glory. So let's have a look at him as well. Right, so my first impressions of him, I think that's actually quite a cool trailer as well. Definitely playing on the sort of mercenary aspect of the ogres, of course. And I actually quite like him. I saw that when I actually put a picture of this guy up on my YouTube and saying that, this is what Deliveroo looks like in Age of Sigma, because of obviously all the different deliveries he's got from all these hunted kills and everything else. But I got a comment on that saying that they absolutely adore ogres. I just can't remember the name. Absolutely adore ogres, but this model they don't really like it. And I do see where they're coming from. I think maybe a head swap. I just feel like if I look at that head, I mean, he must really struggle to see with all those straps over his face. And I feel like it feels a little bit awkward by just how much he's carrying. Like you've got the Drake's head, the whatever polar bear type creature that is. Etc. all on him. It looks like it'd be very hard for him to walk around, despite him obviously being an ogre and being very strong. I feel like maybe even if he was on a base that was maybe an oval size, or I don't really know how you do it, but you had like a little cart being pulled by like a bunch of Noblars or something like that, that follow him around and carry his kills for him, I think would look better, in my opinion. I do like all this, the character he's got. And I don't think I think it does look a little bit too busy, but it does all look very cool. But I just feel like for me, the awkwardness of how he would walk around and be an efficient hunter whenever all these kills on him. But maybe he's going back into town to trade in his kills for food or whatever, or to go for something to eat. But he has actually got his crossbow locked and loaded, so I doubt that is the case. So yeah, I do like him, but I just feel he's a bit too weighed out. Like, it doesn't look very practical to me, I think is the best way to say it. So it says the blood pelt hunter is a curious ogre. While most of his fellows immediately eat their prey and leave only marrow-sucked bones behind, he keeps the whole body parts intact, preserved and strung about his person as trophies. It says the hunter puts these grisly keepsakes to practical use. He stores crossbow bolts in the hollowed out head and uses thick pelts to protect him against the elements. Okay, so that's basically going to why I should have read that before I said my thoughts. But yeah, just you can get easier ways to carry all that stuff around, I think. And then you've got the blood pelt hunter employs all of the hunting prowess to bring down the biggest, baddest beast he can find. With the help of his skull shatter crossbow, a simple weapon that nevertheless rivals a full ballista in size and power. Yeah, because you have got to remember he's an ogre, so that must hurt quite a bit. Yeah, like I say, I like him, but I feel like he could have been a bit better. But I am in the camp of I do like him. And then you've got the Bloodpet Hunter employs all of the hunting prowess to bring down the biggest and baddest beast he can find with the help of his sorry, I just read that. And so rules for the cunning poacher will be sneaking outside a brand new battle tome, Ogre Mawtribes, which will arrive in a 1-2 punch of destruction alongside Sons of Behemoth. So the good thing about Ogre players, you are getting a new model. I do hope you like him on that one. And then obviously, like I think I saw somewhere online that we were getting a Son of Behemoth book coming out, as well as the Ogre Mawtribe. Obviously, we got that new model for the Giants that we'll look at in a moment. But before that, of course, in the summer, we have the Disciples of Zeech and the Luminous Realms. And I don't know Did they announce that as that came out? Well, I don't think it's came out yet, but I don't know if it's gone on pre-order or it's going on pre-order sometime soon. Presumably, obviously, because we had that box set that came out for both of them. And then obviously we got Double Destruction. I'm a bit sad that Gloons by Gits aren't getting a Destruction battle tome. And it's very hard to try and plan around what you can see Games Workshop bringing out. But I feel like if they brought 2 Destruction battle tomes out in autumn, which is still obviously, probably mid to late autumn, might be October, which, is at least another month away, if not a bit more. That Gloons by Gits won't actually get a battle tome for some time bit more, which is sad because I've recently bought Gloons by Gits, but I haven't got to the stage where I'm actually, playing with them because, I've got about 5 models painted. But even for me, it's a bit annoying. So imagine people who are really invested in Gloons by Gits, which, I'm not saying it's got bad rules, but it does struggle, especially with the fact that I think there's when I've read the book anyway, there is that thing with the whole keyword bingo because a lot of the stuff doesn't synergize as well as you would think together. So they would do lovely to have a new battle tome. So hopefully they get that at some point. But more importantly, we get the Slave Starters one coming out at some point soon in winter, which I think I read somewhere that the battle tomes coming out maybe about December time. And then I think the models were coming out at the start of 2023, which would make sense for how they release their Chaos things. It does tend to be that time of year. But I may be completely contradicted when we read that thing in a moment, so I won't speculate too much on that. And then we're going to go on to the King Brodd. So staying in the Mortal Realms, we also saw a stunning new miniature. Sorry, I am reading this completely wrong. I would have read this ahead, but I don't actually have too much time now, which you'll see we may go through this quite quickly. But it says, what's bigger than an ogre? How about a Mega-Gargant? And not just any Mega-Gargant. King Brodd is back, and his hammer is just as big as ever. So let's see what he says about him, because King Brodd, I don't know if he maybe was in the story at some point that I missed, but not that I saw too much. Let's see his trailer and see what it says. So a very cool model coming out for those Mega-Gargants, and it is nice because they, I believe, have 2 model kits, so it's good that they get another one out. I will say that I think there was some speculation that this guy may have originally have been, was it a Gorgon or a Cygor maybe for the Beast of Chaos, because you had these little gremlin things all over him, which I think were on a Cygor. It might have been a Dragonoth Shagoff, something like that, but it has turned out to be another, I say another destruction model. I suppose they're not actually destruction. So it's turned out to be a destruction model in this guy here. And the story I was telling there about, how Behemoth was knocked down by Celestial Prime. I do remember reading that, listen to it in the audiobook for the Sons of Behemoth, but that audiobook did seem to be too heavily focused on the Stormcast for my liking. So this guy, absolutely massive, presumably same size as the other ones. I mean, if he was bigger, that'd be cool, but I doubt it. It's a little bit of a shame. It looks like it's the same pose as the other Mega-Gargants without directly comparison, but maybe it would have been cool if maybe had like a different sort of stance and just walking forward or something, because they, like I said, hasn't got many model kits, so it would be nice if they changed it up. Is this going to be like a repackaged version of the Mega-Gargant kit and they've added a few more sprues to be able to make this guy? Maybe, but he probably will be his own thing. But it reminds me, as I can't remember his name, but the Imperial Knights, when they got a new knight came up with a named character, I'm pretty sure that is more or less the same kit. They just added a few more sprues. So we'll see what happens with this one. I'm conscious of the time though, guys, because unfortunately I don't have too much time. So we will just go straight on to the Slaves Darkness, because that's, like I say, is the main thing I want to cover. Okay, so the best thing, and I just want to quickly say from the live chat. So we've got Vincy saying I was supposed to be at the Nova Open, so sad. Yeah, it did look like it was a really, really good one, to be honest. So hopefully next time you can make it and it'll be just as good. Dice Hogger saying, hey, Mini's looking good. Yeah, absolutely agree. The ones I reviewed so far, I do like. And then Vincy saying no audio from the trailer. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why it's coming through. So I've got a headset on. It's coming through on that. I don't know, maybe because it's the headset or something. If it doesn't, apologies. It's not any intention of mine for it not to come through. Just go on the Warhammer community site and watch for yourselves, but you still get to see the models, obviously. So we've got shadowy power fulminates all across the Age of Sigmar as the forces of chaos continue their assault on the mortal realms. You can join Archaon and Be'lakor as they lay down the pillars of order and build their dark is that like Pantheon hegemony? I don't know what that says. But with the Slaves of Darkness launch set. So yeah, they have got a new box set and everything else. And yep, there we go. So let's have a look at the trailer first. And apologies if the audio doesn't come through, but you still get to see the cool models. Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, apologies. So that does look absolutely awesome. If you didn't hear the audio, there was no talking; it was just music. But what I'd say is the great thing about this box set is that it's all the new models, and not saying that the old models are bad, so I've got loads of them, but I'd rather have the new shiny ones rather than all the old ones that I have countless and countless and countless amounts. So it says that's a sea of spikes, ornate trim, and brutal weaponry. Let's take a closer look. So in case you can't read Chaos Runes, the text reads Slaves of Darkness. You can muster a host fit to sack the realms with the box features a host of miniatures, some of which were first seen earlier this year. And what I would say is that these are all models, like I said, the new ones, which are cool, but they're all models that I wanted. These, I think they're called, are they Ogroid? Whatever their unit name is, but I've always really liked them, always like the character versions of them, like the one we got, is it the Firmtosh, the one we got from Siltar, and I can't remember the other one we got from Slaves Darkness, which is like the gladiatorial one with the shield and the spear, but it's absolutely awesome. So it's nice, really cool to get a unit of that in here, because that's what I wanted to buy. Chosen, want to buy, absolutely love them, even though I'm converting some of my own at the moment. I still am going to be using this ones, and what do you call it, Slaves Darkness Steam Princess, absolutely adore. This guy I'm not really a fan of, though. I don't know if I feel like it's too busy. I really don't like the head, which is why it's perfect for me. They've given you alternative heads, which for me, I am a Slaanesh player, and for me anyway, I think the Slaanesh one looks the best. So I am quite happy with that and not too sad. And to be honest, that face there, it just looks really, really derpy from this angle. But when you sort of spin around the video, it didn't look as bad. So, that is quite good there. And let's actually, I'll read the rest of it and then I'll give you the rest of my thoughts. So this is the first place you can get hold of the fearsome new Demon Prince, who has a plethora of build options. Well, they say that there's 4 different heads for you to choose, which I've just explained, which is, it's nice, but I wouldn't go like, oh, you wouldn't believe how many options there are ways to build this. It looks like it's just those 4 heads. Backing up this terrifying Demon Commander is a unit of Indomitable Chosen, the most incredible armored Chaos Warriors ever to have strode into battle. Just look at them. Each one, every inch, every inch of it screams killer, and as ornate and imposing as Chaos Lords of previous editions. Yeah, they do look absolutely awesome. They basically look like Varangard on foot as well, which I know isn't strictly true because Varangards are basically Chaos Lords, but they do look absolutely brilliant. I hope they're bigger than the current Chaos Chosen as well. Because I know a lot of people have converted Stormcast into the Chaos Chosen. That's what I'm doing as well. So hopefully, if you have done that, these fit in a bit more than the older Chaos Chosen, because I know my friend who's got a unit of them, and he puts them next to his Stormcast Chosen, and they don't look nearly the same size, obviously. So hopefully the scale's been upped a little bit on them. And if they haven't, and you've got old Chaos Chosen, then they fit your Chaos Chosen more, don't they? So there you go. So then it goes to Ogroid Theodons, I think that is. Provide even more muscle for your army with horns, hooves, and axes big enough to hew any mortal warrior in 2. They look absolutely fantastic. And obviously you get all your command in this box, which is nice compared to, like the Dominion box you got for Age of Sigma, obviously when that came out in 3rd edition, where it's like, yeah, we're not going to give you the banners and stuff or the what do you call it, the Cruel Boys, etc. I think you didn't get anything like that. You got to buy the box separately, and it's like, well, that's great. Thank you very much for being so helpful, Games Workshop. You also get the same for the Chosen. You get the banner there, the drummer. I presume this is the leader who Blizander was going on about. And if it is, I do see what you mean. It doesn't look that different, because when I say I presume this is the leader, that's what I'm doing. I'm presuming Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I'll be this guy with the banner. I think despite completely missing him, I think he stands out a bit. But yeah, I know what you mean. He doesn't stand out enough, obviously, because I just blew past him to go, it must be this guy. So it's the pose, isn't it? That's different. I think if you wanted to, you could, let's say the color scheme of your army is, I don't know, let's say you're corner, you go for like a black and red combo, and you usually paint all the armor and all of them red, just paint the helmet on it black, just make it stand out a little bit. I'll be replacing the helmets of mine because I do that sort of Greek theme, if you guys have seen that before. But yeah, I know what you mean, it doesn't stand out too much on that one. We've got Vinci saying that I love the Ogroids. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. Like Slaves Darkness Mind towards what's not to love, especially you get a unit of them, and hopefully they'll be quite good compared to the Ogroids that we're used to, which the hero types are not fantastic and not really the best. So it says this set also provides the new Battle Tome. The set also provides the new Battle Tome in a unique limited edition format with a beautiful cover, sure to raise the eyebrows of even the most impassive warlords. This set will be the first place you can acquire these updated rules. There's more to come, but the Dark Master have wept them in a shadow until the time is right. I bloody hope you get all the rules for all the new units in this book, and it's not going to be like bloody Lumineth, where there's another book coming out because maybe the rest of the models don't come out for another month or 2 or something. I really hope that isn't the case. But with that in mind, obviously the big question is, firstly, what does that say? We now know it says darkness. That's good. I think that's I mean, it's quite cool that they put the Slaves of Darkness language on it, if you will, the Dark Gods language, to make it feel a lot more themey. But if you didn't read that bit of text, you would wonder what that was meant to mean, because Warhammer Age of Sigma, I presume this must be a Slaves of Darkness box because of all the pictures. The artwork on the box looks absolutely fantastic. I do think so. And then the big question, of course, is how much is this going to cost? Honestly, I don't know. The biggest thing I would compare it to is things like, when you had like the Black Templar had a box set come out just for them. Unfortunately, I can't remember how much that was. But I think it would be something similar price to that. because you're getting the book in there, which I didn't realize, and it's meant to be limited edition. Like, for example, when you got the Age of Sigmar 3rd edition box set came out, like I just mentioned, with the Cruel Wars and Stormcast, I think that was 120 if you bought it from Games Workshop. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same price. Those Ogroids for 3 of them separately are probably going to be about £30. Those chosen for 10 are probably going to be about £35. And that Demon Prince is probably going to be about 30 to 40, something probably similar to one of those Dankhold Trogoth bosses. I think on that one, which what's the mass on that? That's already £100, isn't it? Roughly, maybe £105. And then that book, I think, what about times now? About £30 since they updated them. So that's going to be £135. Maybe because it's limited edition, they would normally charge, 40, maybe £50 for it. So if this is £120, you do get good value from it. Then it's not, like, oh, it's crazy value. But again, I'm just speculating on a made-up price. So that is what it is. But you will get a deal from this box set, and I don't think there's anything in this box set without knowing the rules. That's a tax, which is like, oh, we've got loads of leftover, I don't know, Marauders or something, so we've chucked them in this box for you. And let's say Marauders aren't good in the new book, and you're like, oh, I don't really want the Marauders, but everything else in the book is such good value that I have to get them. A little bit like the Soul Like Gravelords box, start collecting box for that, where you go, oh, I really want the White King, and the Grave Guard are really good, but the Black Knights are absolutely awful. Maybe use them as Hex Rays for your Night Haunt, etc. Nothing seems to be that bad in this box. Looks absolutely fantastic, and it's the first thing I've seen for a while that's came out by Games Workshop that I'm like, I have to buy that. Even when I compare the Soulblight Gravelords, back then when that came out, I saw the Blood Knights and loads of other stuff came up with the army. I was like, oh, I'd really like to get that. Haven't bought any of that since, and that's because I've been out of the game for a while. But just I really liked it, but I didn't jump at it, and I think this box I definitely will. So yeah, guys, then we've obviously got the plan, what they said here, and let's read this last little bit. So you'll be able to buy the box towards the end of the year. So yeah, it will come out in December time probably. Think of it as a spiky Vanguard arriving ahead of the main force of Iron and Who's slated earlier for 2023. So that must have been what I read earlier. And yeah, so I reckon January, hopefully for the rest of Safe Start and stuff, this box set will be December. It will be before Christmas because it's a great Christmas present, isn't it? Maybe about a week or two before. But yeah, really, really cool. Let me know your guys' thoughts are, of course, on this in the comment section of this video, as always, as I've got to wrap up the video now. But thank you very much for joining me in this video. I'll just quickly check the chat in case you guys put anything in there. So Ewan has said that it will be 35 for 5 chosen, not 10. It would be lovely if it was 10. Maybe I am being a bit too optimistic there, but you could well be right. I think I'm just being a bit too optimistic. Yeah, I suppose so. And then they do it 5. The reason why I say 10 is because there's only one banner there, but I suppose they wouldn't duplicate the banner and the drummer and everything for that box set and a champion because it wouldn't look as good for the photos. Yeah, I'm just being a bit too optimistic there, maybe. And then if they did make it 35 for 5, then that means that the box is even better value for how much discount you're going to get, which makes people more want to buy it. But if they are, 5 for 35, I do hope that they are a decent size. But I know the cow infantry for the Lumineth called the Stone Guard or something, that they don't look particularly big, and I think they're 5 for like 35, so you could well be right on that one. And Through the Realm Gate is saying that I do wish they hadn't done another hunter for ogres. It was not needed. Yeah, I think you're right, because I was thinking this when I was loading him up on the screen, that they obviously brought out that Underworld's warband where there was that hunter from there, and you got one of those God, I'm really doing bad at remembering things today. It's probably because I've just woken up. But you've got that, I think it was Sabertooth, is it? Whatever those, like, basically Sabertooth tigers are for the ogres, essentially. You got one of those in it, and some Noblars, I think, as well. That it felt like maybe if they brought out a new, is it Firebelly they've got, or a new Butcher or something, that would have been a lot better, I think, for the ogre players. I think they would have appreciated it more. But that, guys, I'm going to end the video now. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, obviously like, subscribe, comment down below, share this with your friends if you would like to. You can do all the support on Patreon, all that, if you would like to as well. Everyone who does, massive thank you to these guys, and more than anything else, I'm just really glad you came, checked out this video today. I hope that you enjoyed the reveals for the most part. To be honest, I completely forgot that Nova was coming up, and I saw this last night when I was working, and I was like, oh, right, yeah, well, I'll try and make a video on it today before I've got to go out again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I really look forward to seeing more stuff come up for Stay Starters and more timings and everything else. I hope you do as well. So with that, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you're well. Remember to stay safe, everything else, and remember until next time that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.